Hey, what's happening YouTube? This is Runner from BellatorGero.com. Not arrogant, just better. Just going to give my predictions on Rick Story versus Nate Marquardt. Yeah, just going to do this prediction nice and quick. Don't worry about the background noise. I'm just in my car, just about to go for a little drive, but I thought I'd get my predictions done before that. So anyways, the first fight we've got Nick Lentz versus Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira is one of my best 155ers. I've got three of them who I think really good fighters, and Charles Oliveira is going to get this fight and he's going to finish it via, let me see, I'm going to go second round submission because he's got really good jiu-jitsu and he is an up and coming fighter. I know he lost against Jim Miller, but next fight he's stand by. He's got good striking as well, so yep, I'm going to go with Charles Oliveira winning via second round submission. Next fight we've got Joe Lauzon. Joe Lauzon, I'm going to go for him against Warburton because I think Lauzon's got the better jiu-jitsu, he's got the better striking. He showed against Joel Soteropoulos that he's got the better striking. I know George isn't the best striker in the world, but I'm still going to go with Joe Lauzon against Warburton, and probably Warburton will get cut from the UFC after this fight, but that's just how it's going to go. With Tyson Griffin and Joe Daddy Stevenson fighting at 145. I'm going to say that Joe Stevenson's going to get cut. He's going to lose. And I'm going to go with Tyson Griffin just getting the win. So them two, one will get cut, one will stay. And in the heavyweight division, we have Matt Mitrione versus Chris Marquardt. Mitrione looks good with his hands. He's going to weigh in about 260. He's got good reach. He's got some freakish long arms for a tall fighter. But I'm going to go with Marquardt on this fight. He impressed me against Stefan Struve, even though he got into a slugfest with Stefan Struve and got caught on the chin and subsequently got knocked out. The fight that Marquardt should fight is taking him to the ground and using his ground game and his wrestling and just beating up Mitrione from a ground position. That's the way he needs to win this fight, and I think that's his best chance of winning because Marquardt is an excellent fighter. He's really impressed me. I know not many people know about him, but watch him in this fight against Mitrione, and if he gets past Mitrione, the heavyweight division better stand by because he's a guy to be watching. And moving on, who else we got? We've got Matt Brown versus John Howard. Whoever loses in this fight gets cut. And it depends, all this fight depends on is if Matt Brown uses his skills on the ground to dominate John Howard. Because John Howard is not the greatest person on the ground. His striking's pretty wild, but he's good with his striking and he's got good knockout power. But the thing I'm going to say is Matt Brown should use his ground game if he's in his last ditch to stay in the UFC. Because he's lost 3 fights in a row. And I think he needs to take this fight to the ground and get it won from there. So I'm going to go with Matt Brown, and he's going to get this fight finished. I'm going to say decision. I'm not going to say he's going to finish it. I'm going to go decision. And John Howard is going to get cut from the UFC, which I think John Howard should have stepped down to 155, where he would have been a bit stronger and everything like that for that weight class. Next fight we have is Cheick Kongo versus Pat Barry. Pat Barry, he's a fighter that I like. I don't know why. It just seems like he's very passionate about the sport, even though he's more of a kickboxer, not a ground fighter. But Cheick Kongo's not a ground fighter either. He's just a stand up and banger, really. Cheick Kongo, he's on the not on the verge as such of getting cut, but he hasn't beat any top level fighters. He's lost against every top level fighter he's fought. The last 2 fights I've seen him fight top level fighters. He's lost against Cain Velasquez, Frank Mir. They're both, well, Cain Velasquez just dominated him. Frank Mir choked him out with less than 2 minutes. But he's not ever beat anyone of any decent caliber. He's beating people that are getting cut from the UFC afterwards. So he's on the verge of getting cut, to be honest. I know Cheick Kongo is going to be 6'4". He's going to weigh 240. He's going to have the better striking in terms of efficiency. But Pat Barry has some devastating kicks, and seriously, I don't think Cheick Kongo's got the biggest legs in the world, and I'm going to go with Pat Barry on this fight. I'm going to go with third round TKO via leg kicks from Pat Barry, because Pat Barry is a beast when he kicks people in the legs. And I do like Pat Barry. I think if he loses this fight, which I don't think he will, he's got one more shot after this to stay in the UFC. And that's just how I'm going to go with this fight. And yeah, I think it'll be interesting. So I'm going to go with Pat Barry, 3rd round, TKO via leg kicks. And that's it. So we're going into the main event, which has been changed. It's Nate Marquardt versus Rick, the Horror Story. Rick Story, yeah, he impressed me against Thiago Alves. I was going to go with him via knockout, but I did go with Thiago Alves in the end because I just thought he was the more superior fighter. But Rick Story is not a guy you want to be messing around with. And for some reason, I was wondering why they were going on so much about that Rick Story's a beast and everything like that. Because Thiago Alves is a guy who comes in, and he comes in at a heavyweight for 170. But Nate Marquardt, it's his first time coming to 170 from 185. He hasn't fought out of anything else apart from 185. So it's his first time getting down to that weight. I think Rick Story's going to be the stronger guy in this fight, even though Nate Marquardt is an absolute beast. But we don't know how Nate Marquardt fights at 170. And on that basis, I'm going to go with Rick Story. I think Rick Story's going to come up with a decent game plan. Nate Marquardt's obviously going to have the better jiu-jitsu on the ground, and he's going to have the better striking. But Rick Story's got a great chin. I won't say if he gets into a striking battle with Nate Marquardt, he's going to win. He's going to have to fight tactical. And yeah, that's just how I'm going to see this fight going. I know I haven't gone too in-depth into it, but I think if he wrestles the hell out of Nate Marquardt, then Rick Story's going to win this fight. And to be honest, I'd like to see Rick Story win this fight, because Nate Marquardt, he's had his chances to fight at 185 and fight for the title and fight for number 1 contendership, and he hasn't took them chances. He's not brought the fight to people, and really, if he doesn't do anything at 170, where does his career go, really? You know what I mean? He's just going to be one of the fighters who's just going to be fighting, not going to be able to get the title at any point, and that's just the way it's going to go. But yeah, I'm going to go Rick Story on this fight. I do like Nate Marquardt, but I just don't think he brings the fight sometimes, and we'll see at the end of this if he's going to make a run at the title for 170. I know he trains with GSP, so who knows? GSP might move it to 185, which I don't think is going to happen, but that's how it is. And I think this fight card is a banging fight card, just for these casual fans who don't watch fight nights as such. This is going to be a banging card, and this could be. I know it's not got the biggest names in the world, but it has very good fighters, and it's going to be a great card. I think there's so many good fights on this card, and this could be like a numbered UFC. So, in my opinion, because I like good fighters, and the fighters on this card I do like. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Post your predictions below. Post your comments. I don't expect to get many hits on this because it's a fight night and not many casual fans are going to be watching this. But anyways, yep, this is me, Runner, signing out for my UFC predictions. The Ultimate Fighter, not the Ultimate Fighter, fight night, Nate Marquardt versus Rick, the Horror Story. And I'm signing out now, so peace.